We never asked each other for anything, not for promises, not for explanations, not even for certainty. And somehow that was the purest part of it. There was no moment where one of us said, "Stay." No moment where we questioned what this was becoming. We just let it be. Our love didn't begin loudly. It didn't announce itself. It didn't demand space in the room. It arrived quietly, like something that didn't want to interrupt our lives, only sit beside them. I never asked you to be more than who you already were, and you never asked me to change. We met each other exactly as we were, unfinished, unsure, still figuring things out. And for once, that felt enough. Some people love by asking. They ask for time. They ask for reassurance. They ask for proof that they matter. But ours never did. Ours trusted silence. We didn't ask each other where this was going. We didn't ask what tomorrow looked like. We didn't ask if this would last. We chose presence over projection. And in that choice, we felt safe. I never asked you to explain your quiet days. You never asked me to justify my distance. When you pulled away, I didn't chase. When I grew quiet, you didn't panic. We understood something rare, that love doesn't always need answers. Sometimes it just needs patience. We spent time together without expectations, without measuring effort, without keeping score. No one was trying to win. No one was trying to secure a future. We were simply there, and that made every moment feel lighter. I never asked you to love me forever. I never asked you to choose me over your fears. I never asked you to promise what you couldn't guarantee. I just let you be human. And you let me be too. That kind of love doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't burn. It doesn't hurt in the way movies make it seem. It feels calm. It feels like sitting next to someone without needing to fill the space. It feels like being understood without being examined. It feels like knowing you're not being tested. We didn't need constant reassurance because we weren't trying to prove anything. We trusted what was happening, even without naming it. And maybe that's why it felt so real. Because it wasn't forced. Because it wasn't driven by fear of losing each other. Because it didn't come with conditions. We never asked, "What are we?" And maybe that scared other people. But it didn't scare us. Because labels weren't what made us feel close. Presence did. Care did. The way we noticed each other without demanding attention. I noticed when your voice changed at the end of the day. You noticed when I smiled less than usual. Neither of us asked. We just adjusted. We just stayed gentle. Love doesn't always need to be claimed. Sometimes it needs to be respected. And we respected each other enough not to demand ownership. I didn't ask you to stay when things got uncertain, and you didn't ask me to fight when letting go felt kinder. That's something people rarely talk about. Sometimes love isn't about holding tighter. It's about knowing when not to. There were moments when I could have asked for more clarity, more commitment, more certainty. But I didn't, because I knew that if I had to ask, it wouldn't be freely given. And you felt the same. We loved each other without pressure, without ultimatums, without fear disguised as need. And that love, even without a future, felt complete. Not because it lasted forever, but because it never asked to be something it wasn't. Some loves are loud. They demand space. They demand answers. Ours was quiet, and that quiet held everything we needed. Even now, when I think back, I don't remember arguments. I remember ease. I remember how natural it felt to exist beside you. No tension, no chasing, no proving, just a gentle knowing. We didn't ask each other to be perfect, so we didn't break when imperfections appeared. We didn't ask for certainty, so uncertainty didn't scare us. We didn't ask for forever, so ending didn't feel like failure. It felt like completion. A love that never asked, never demanded to be remembered either. But it stayed. Not loudly, not painfully, softly. In the way I now understand love better. In the way I no longer confuse need with connection. In the way I know that love can exist without possession. That it can be real without promises. That it can be meaningful without lasting forever. And if I ever love again, I hope I remember this, that the best love I ever knew was the one that never asked me to be more than myself, and I never asked it to stay. It simply was. And somehow, that was enough.